Hey Dan, thanks so much for joining me today to talk a little bit about yourself and your career in IT asset management. To start things off, I just wanted to ask, how long have you been with Ray Allen and what's your current role?
Sure. So I've been with Ray Allen for 11 years now. My current role is VP of Sales. And in that role, I'm basically managing over three large strategic accounts: Verizon, Lumen, and E. Plus.
Oh, wow. Definitely got your hands full. Building off of that, how did you begin your career and how did you become interested in this field?
It's interesting. If you go back to the beginning of Ray Allen around 2004, I already knew Todd Ringelman, our CEO, and he had told me about this concept, this idea of having a company that managed over large end customers' assets and maintenance agreements. And at the time, I was running a CLEC, and I looked at him and thought, okay, well, why don't those customers just handle that themselves, right?
Yeah,
And so he started the company in '04. In 2011, I actually came on board and I started working for him there. And so it was really having that relationship with him as much as anything that brought me to Ray Allen.
cool. That's quite the journey.
It is. It is.
What would you say your main responsibilities in your current role are, and what's the typical day or week like for you?
Sure. So, from a responsibility standpoint, the main thing is with those accounts that I've mentioned, being the lead in the relationship with those companies.
Mhm.
Obviously, the number one responsibility is to obtain revenue goals that are set out at the beginning of the year. Within that, there's your renewal or book of business that you expect to be able to hit every year. So, you want to make sure that you're hitting that. But then, in addition to that, the expansion of those opportunities within those customers and being able to facilitate new relationships and bring on new business within those customers. Those would be like the main responsibilities, as well as also handling diffusing problem situations, so to speak. There's always going to be something that's going wrong, and how you handle that, work through those periods, can go a long way. And sometimes some problems can actually lead to some great things in the future. From a typical, what does my day look like typically? I'd say that there is no such thing as a typical day. You can be working so many hours in a day, have loads of calls day after day. You can have days where you have travel, weeks where you have significant travel. But then there's also some days where you look at your calendar and it's pretty empty and you go, okay, well, makes up for the days when you're working the long hours with
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
customers. So it's just, I wouldn't say there's really a typical day.
And then just keeping that in mind, what skills and personality traits do you deem essential for this role?
So I think when you're in a sales role, obviously you need to be able to be persuasive. A lot of immediate no's. And so you got to be able to be persuasive, talk through those things. You got to have good listening skills, because if you're not listening and understanding what the problems are, you're not going to be able to help solution those problems. Along with that, having good problem solving skills as well. I think that those are pretty important, as well as from a personality trait standpoint, having a thick skin. You lose way more than you win. And so the
Yeah.
key is being able to dust that off, move on to the next one. Hopefully, those wins that are big enough that they outweigh the losses.
Oh, yes, definitely. Now, just for a more fun question, what hobbies do you have outside of work that help you keep a healthy work/life balance?
Outside of work, my main hobbies are I've always been a very active person, into fitness. I work out a lot. I probably work out 5 days a week, and that doesn't include the walks and the hikes that I take. And recently moved to Arizona a couple of years ago. Makes that so much easier to obtain. There's never a time in the year you can't go for a walk. We were talking earlier, 114 degrees today, but at 7 in the morning, it wasn't 114 degrees. It's not like it was in Chicago. It's definitely easier out here to stay active, to stay fit. I don't watch a lot of television. There's plenty of opportunity to be able to get out, do some of those active things, and keep that balance in place.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it seems like a really healthy lifestyle you keep yourself in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. It was great to hear about your career and sit down and get to know you a little bit better. I just wanted to say thank you and have a great day.
Thanks, Richie. You have a good weekend.